Hey everybody, it's Strict Nine with Strict Nine GP, and I'm back with another fresh start, I guess you'd say, with this Draft Day Sports College Basketball 2020. Doing a new playthrough now with the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, starting all the way back into the 2019-20 season when this game first came out. Um, Long story short, my hard drive crapped out on me, and I was unable to get a backup from my Draft Day Sports league that I had running. So I hate to say goodbye to that one because I was hoping that I was on the right track with it, but these things happen, and I would rather just move on, get a new series going, than spend another week trying to recover it off that bad hard drive. So this is where we're at. But I wanted to stay within Conference USA. I'm familiar with that conference, and I'm familiar with the Southeast as well as that conference, but I just really like the idea of taking a low prestige school and, in I would say mid-major type conference. Although, you can see conference prestige, it's right close to the middle, 2.5 stars, but 42 out of 100. And I just want to see if I can somehow build a winner. I haven't had much luck with it, but I'm hoping that I've learned some things over the years, especially with recruiting, and I'm ready to just kind of start over and see how far I can go with this one team. I wanted to go over a few things with this team, and we'll sim through hopefully the majority of our non-conference schedule. There's 11 games from this conference that are non-conference, play a 29-game regular season schedule. I wanted to look at a few things, and really, I said recruiting, that's the first thing I want to mention about this team. It is a young team, and I didn't really know when I picked it up. When you go in and you start your leagues using the mods, I'm using the college basketball mod that you can find on Wolverine Studios forum. You don't really get a look at the team before you choose it. You kind of have to, you can see things like their team prestige, and I think you might even be able to see conference prestige, but I know you can see team prestige when you're choosing who to take on, but you can't see the rosters, and don't think you can see the history at that point. Although with this having to restart like I did, we're not going to see any history. This is pulled from that college mod, but it's not going to show you like season recaps, I don't think, in this one. But the thing that I found out when I finally got this team assigned to me, they're young. So young that I don't have a scholarship available for next season. And I know I want to make this team my own. I want to get into recruiting as quick as I can. But I bounced back and forth, and I was like, I think I can afford to wait a little bit. We've got 4 seniors coming off next year, primarily in 2 positions. So I will have, in just, what is that? Next season, I'll be recruiting for 4 slots to carry over to next season. So maybe this gives me a good idea to see if I can just match the talent with the strategy and the depth. And so I didn't think it was a total loss. I do like some of these younger guys, especially in power forward and center. And that's kind of, I was having some good success with those 2 positions at UAB. So I think maybe the offenses I run will kind of benefit those 2 players, 2 positions. But even in the guard spots, there is some room here. There's a couple guys, Tinsley and Delzell, that are kind of decent. There's a Brian Tremblay who's a sophomore small forward. I think there's 3 small forwards here. It's kind of a toss-up who to go with, but I'm going to go with the 2 juniors because they're going to be here 2 seasons. They're going to get most of the play time, and I'll look at the depth chart here in a minute. But I think there's enough potential with this team that I'll ride it out for another year. And I really want to see, like I say, I want to see if I'm on another right track when it comes to strategies. I thought I was getting close with UAB, matching up. I think we played primarily a motion and triangle style offense, and I think we threw a little bit of flex maybe in there. I can't remember which one. But this one is going to be a little different, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. This team must have been running the Princeton offense primarily. I think they were set to like 70%, and so that's still going to be the biggest offensive set we're going to use. One of the things that is key to this is, and you can just take a look. I love these little descriptions they give you. I mean, if you don't know basketball that much, you can go online, I guess, but it's cool to have it here. So a good passing center is crucial to the success of this offense, as well as I'm thinking good athleticism. But for the most part, that seems to be the big thing. You got to have a good passing center. You go over to the dashboard. Now we have a freshman center that's current ability is 3.5 stars, potential 4, but 7 feet 287 pounds. He's already proficient. Well, not really proficient, but he through training, he's already gotten some familiarity with what I want to run. But look at his passing, 6 out of 7, 6 current, 7 potential for a center. That's really good. His ball handling's not too bad. He's got good rebounding abilities, stealing, shot blocking, and athleticism. So I think I'll stick with that Princeton, but I wanted to tamp it down a little bit. And so with a young team, and I saw this online as well, a video of somebody giving you tips. Well, I meant to go to strategy. I do think that it's best to stick to even 2 offenses if you can get away with it, but no more than 3. So I think the way this team looked when I got it, I think they had some percentages in flex and motion, high post, and Princeton. So I'm just going to concentrate on these 3. After Princeton, I'm going to run a motion because I think motion is basic, and I would think most players, even coming out of high school, would probably know how to run that offense. High post, I'm going to see, and I think high post is going to really depend on the guard play. And well, I don't know. It might be forwards. I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly, but I think you pull the big men away. So yeah, I guess it will depend on guard play and forwards, but shooting guard we're okay with. Point guard we're not doing too well. And so that might be a situation I'll have to change around. And on defense, I'm going to see how this goes. I'm going to go primarily man-to-man. I think when I took over this team and went to strategy, it was something like 80-something% man-to-man, and some, was 3-2 zone or whatever. The only zone that I've really had any success with is the 1-2-2. So I'm just going to throw that in there with man-to-man and do, full court man-to-man and that 1-2-2 press. See how it goes with the same percentages on the defense. I think this team, unlike UAB before this and even Penn State to a certain extent, I think this team is pretty athletic, and that's one of the things that I think you really need with if you're going to do a lot of man-to-man, as well as good defensive steal abilities. And I feel like if I look at Montgomery here, his defensive ability is not great, but his athleticism is, and you just go down the line. Same with Webb, who's going to primarily be the backup point guard when I start the season, but he might get more play time because he's got really good potential in a lot of categories. You look at Tinsley, same with athleticism. I mean, that was one of the things that stuck out to me a lot when I went through this roster. Everybody's above average. Some are really above average in athleticism. I mean, this is a guy who's not, but he's got other good attributes to help him out. So that's the strategies. On the depth chart side, I'm going by the stars for the most part. Whoever's got the best star and individual attribute ratings. I do feel like point guard, shooting guard, and even small forward at this point could be toss-ups. I really think this Trombley, even though he's like a 1.5 star current, he's not going to score a lot, but he might be a good bench player at that position, small forward. He might wind up getting more play. I've got him for like 8 minutes, I think. Yeah, 8 minutes right now. And then power forward, Craig is going to get most of the starting time. And I might have to adjust this now that I'm looking at it. I think I meant to earlier. I want to give this guy some time as well. I don't want the guy playing a full 10 minutes is what I'm looking at. So I think what I'm going to do is just swap it up here and here and let him finish out the game. And here, first half, I'll go with it. But this guy might get more play time. He's a freshman. If I'm going to use him on the team, he's got to develop. So 4 minutes is not that great. But I wanted to see. This guy's also a freshman, and he's got better ratings. I mean, he could potentially be a starter his last 2 years in the with the team. And then this center, I mean, the guy looks really good. We'll see how these numbers translate into play when we start simming out games. But man, I of all the teams that I've had, I think he's probably the best center I've seen on any team that I've had since I've been playing this. And I know from being in that Conference USA with UAB, centers are key, and it seems like in this league, or they were, when I was at that point in the simulation. But this is the kind of team that if we're just decent around these two guys inside, I think we could at least have a winning season. I hope I didn't jinx myself, but that's where we're at. So enough set up. I'm going to go ahead and get started on simming out the games. I almost want to kick myself. I do this every time, but the schedule I went with balanced, and I don't know that I would call that balanced, being the team that we are. I mean, you got good programs anyway. You got Southern California on the road, Bradley at home, Temple at home, Marquette on the road, Wisconsin on the road, Florida State in this Holiday Invitational, and then Connecticut to end it. I don't know if I would call that balanced. I feel like it's a little bit on the side of being too hard, in my opinion, for this program. But why I went with it, and in the end, I was like, this is my first season. If I'm going to have any kind of room here, or in terms of the record, it's going to be that first season. So I'm just, I want to see what this team can do. So that's what I went with. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and get her started. I think maybe we'll go through 6 to 8 games here. Depends on how fast it runs. And first one's going to be Rhode Island at home. And even this team, we're picked to from our scout to lose to. I'm going to go ahead and sim through the rest of the games here. Rhode Island Rams. Let's see what the other score. And we're really early in the season, and I don't, finally, this conference was winless. I think we lost like first 6 games, but teams playing some pretty tough opponents. So it looks like Charlotte got a win. Old Dominion lost to Weber State. Texas San Antonio loses by a point. Florida Atlantic loses. So at least to start off this, even Southern Miss lost to Missouri State. At least to start off this playthrough, man, this conference doesn't look too good to me. And we pick up our first win. That's good. Landrum, power forward. I expected. I kind of feel like the guy Horton I had at UAB. They seem similar to me, so I'm hoping that I've got some good offenses. So 76-64. Yeah, he is the power forward there. Or am I looking at? No. Oh, I'm completely wrong. This is the freshman guy off the bench. And he got 18 minutes. Why did he get 18 minutes? So Craig got into foul trouble. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this guy, you take away a few things here in the middle. If he could just develop a little bit, his defense and rebounding are going to be good. But 18 points, I didn't even think about that. Rest of the team, you got Eschmeyer. He didn't look that great. 8 points. He fouled out. Looks like that is one concern I have. This guy. Well, he doesn't seem to be too bad. He's got a good work ethic. But Craig, unfortunately, is disruptive. And, that might be a consideration to make. But that's good size for a power forward. And then point guard play was good. No, it's shooting guard. It's hard to tell on this one. I'm not sure what I'm looking at in terms of the team. It was a good overall win. You could see the big thing here. I'm looking at free throws for them and 3-point shooting. They were 2 for 16. We didn't out rebound them, but we had a good shooting performance, both at the line and 3-pointers. So that helped us out. All right, so at least that part of the jitters is gone. It's always tough to know what team you're going to have until you start playing. Now we got a tough game on the road coming up. But I'm like I am a lot of times with these teams. The biggest thing I ask, I think, from the non-conference schedule is just to get out of there with a winning record. If you're playing 9 like we used to with Penn State, and I think it was Penn State played 9, and Austin Peay. I mean, if I won 5, I was happy, and I'm in that same mode here. I don't know that it really benefits us either way until and unless I guess we're a really big program. It's not going to really benefit us if we go 11-0. And we lost pretty huge here, 87-58. Landrum again, man. This guy off the bench. What can you say about him? That's pretty good. Got a few probably scouting reports come in there, but let's take a look at the game. See if there's anything to feel positive about. Not really. Again, Craig, who I'm really thinking, I'm depending on this guy to be one of my better players. He hasn't looked that sharp. Eschmeyer, 9 points with just 3 rebounds. I figured he would have gotten. His rebounding ability is there. Maybe he's just, getting some tough matchups. The guard play this time wasn't that good. That's going to hurt us down the road. 19 of 44 shooting. They were 35 of 60. So I don't know. One good defensive game, one bad one. We're not getting a lot of rebounds either, and that's unusual for me. I like to see that a little bit higher. So if the shots are falling, it's not going to matter. But I'm going to keep a close eye on that, because if we're not scoring and we're not getting rebounds, I may have to adjust some of the play. And I don't know if it's even worth looking at these scouting reports, because we are always, look at this, we're picked to just be slaughtered by them. And they're coming off a loss to Texas, and then I think even the assistant who does scouting, I think even had Rhode Island beating us for what it's worth. Temple, another big program. I don't know why. I could have changed some of those schedules. You have that option after the schedule is released. You do have the option to go in there and swap out a game here and there, but I didn't have my doubts about it, which is what always happens. I didn't really have my doubts about it until afterwards, until I guess I started getting deeper into, that's when you get your schedules, you're still a little bit early in the off season, and I was still working on depth chart and working on strategies, and it didn't really dawn on me that that's a pretty tough challenge for a young team like this. I'm not sure when the next game here is, but here we go. Bradley Braves, Middle Tennessee. This would be a nice one to win, but again, I don't know. This I think Bradley is in OVC maybe. I'm not sure where they play. We're beat pretty bad, 82-69. Eschmeyer led the team in scoring. Yeah, that was a pretty bad loss. Now, I think I'll look and see where Bradley is. I think they're in a pretty decent conference, but they're 50% shooting, rebounds. Well, I guess it was close. I mean, 38-31 actually, but 38 rebounds, went to them. They have more blocks. We have more turnovers. Personal fouls is already being a problem. And I'm trying to get the team to stick to, I'm using 65% on the offensive set usages. Minutes look like they're coming along, though. Craig just keeps getting in foul trouble. This was a pretty decent game for him overall. Let's see, 10 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, the starters were in plus. It really the bench got hammered. Look at these guys off the bench. Woolley, plus 19 with 15 points. Jackson, 14 rebounds. Wow, how does that happen? See, that's scary because Eschmeyer, with his size, and even, I think, though, is that the thing that's going to really hurt him? His defensive ability, discipline, court IQ, are those really going to hurt him? So I may have to think about adjusting the offenses to give him some cushion, really. But other than that, Hall, not too bad. This guy is a junior. Small forward is a weak position. I never really had much luck with small forwards, but the starters, for what it's worth, except for Montgomery, who did virtually nothing offensively except 5 assists. It was the bench play that was really bad, which that's going to suck too, because I really like having a good bench. I like utilizing them as much as I can. So let's go back to simming. After this next game, I'll take a look at the standings just to see how it is. Oh, and I was going to check Bradley, see what conference they're in. I'm almost wanting to say they're in Mid-America. Nah. I know it's not the OVC, I don't think, but it could be the Missouri Valley Conference. Which should be really comparable to Conference USA. So now we got Akron. I think this is another home. Oh, I didn't want to do that. So let's see if we can go back. I don't know if I can go back here. Crap. I hit the wrong button. I didn't really want to play this one out. I guess what I could do is quit the game. All right, I was thinking about simming it out, but we'll just quit it. So we'll go ahead and do this one, and then I'll look for Bradley. We won 84-79. Eschmeyer again with 18 points, but I'm really more concerned with his defense, so I'm going to focus on that when I take a look at box score here. And scoring wise, I think that was our highest scoring game. 49-47. It was a big shootout in the second half. So, yeah, defensively, I'm worried. This is another team that hit almost half their shots. Were pretty decent from 3-point land. We had more turnovers, fouls. I think that's how we won this one. We went to the line 30 times, hit 26. Well, that's a 6-point difference, but yeah, I guess you could say that's how we won it. And then Eschmeyer, best game so far, 7 rebounds, 18 points. So I feel a little bit better about his performance if he can keep that up. But once again, the fouls were a problem. Craig, not a bad game from him. Two good games in a row. Hall, that's not too bad. Montgomery, man, what am I going to do at point guard? I'm going with him because I think he's got the potential. He's still just a sophomore. He's got decent, good work ethic. He's durable. But off the bench, Webb, Webb's just not, he's not going to score at all. But he's got decent potential. 3.3 assists, and I know he's 3 assists in probably 8 or so minutes. He's averaging 23 minutes a game, which is 3 assists. That's got to improve. Delzell, he's out almost 12 points a game average. That's not too bad. Bench play was a lot better. Landrum again had a great game. Is this the guy I need to be focused on at power forward? His coach relationship's not that great. He's got an excellent work ethic. He doesn't care on play time. So, if he keeps getting those kind of minutes, I think he's going to develop. That's my goal or hope anyway. But we did have a good shooting performance outside of the threes, but I'm really liking the free throw shooting that I'm seeing. And Wisconsin, forget that. So I wanted to look at 2 things. Standings, to see just how, this league seems to be shaping up. So you got, down here at the bottom, 1 and 2, Alabama, Birmingham, 1 and 2. Marshall 3-0. I wonder who they're playing though. Air Force, Gardner Webb, Fordham. 2 of them on the road though. But let's look for Bradley. So Bradley. Why did it do that? All right, let me do this again. They are in the Missouri Valley Conference. Okay, I thought they were somewhere. They got a decent team, but yeah, I don't really think we should be losing to them necessarily at home. But they play close against Tennessee, who's ranked. Now, who's in the Missouri Valley? I think, they may be comparable to the Conference USA. Yeah, 44, and I think we're 43, something like that. So this was a similar team. I think we probably should have won that one at home, but I guess you're not going to win them all. So let's go back to playing. I'm going to sim the week. I'd like to get another couple, 2-3 games in here before the episode ends. I don't know if Wisconsin's coming up next. I hope not. I'd like to get a easier opponent before we meet them. It would be nice to have another win before we go against them. So we're Wednesday, November 30th. This might be the game day. And it's Temple. Yeah, so this is probably another one we're going to lose. Again, I got to be better, I think, figuring out the scheduling. I don't think it's, for a young team in this conference, I don't think it's a bad idea to 88-70. I don't think it's a bad idea to go with a cheesecake type schedule. It's all about your conference tourney anyway. How you do in the tournament, the conference tournament is about the only way you're going to get much notice for postseason. We held them percentages wise anyway. We held them on the shooting. Rebounding was close. They just had a really big early advantage and kept it going. Hall, for what it's worth, didn't look bad. This is better play than I was getting from my previous teams when it came to small forwards, or at least UAB struggled. Landrum, it's such a toss-up, I think, between these two right now. Whether you go with Landrum off as a starter or Craig. Eschmeyer, 11.6 rebounds. That's not bad. Shooting, we were good. We just didn't take a lot of shots. I don't know. This is probably just they're just a better team. Turnovers have that's the big difference. 4-17. Turnovers are biting us a little bit. Had that problem with UAB. You guys might have some suggestions. I was told, I think, or at least I saw a video or read a post that if you get a team, the more proficient they are at the offenses you're running, and if you're running those offenses more, that it can cut down on things like turnovers. I'm hoping that's what it is. Another thing you can do in game, of course, is slow the tempo down. I may want to go adjust that, because I don't think you can adjust that in the pace, in the strategy, but I think you can adjust it. Oh man, these 2 wins might be all we get in this conference or non-conference schedule. Man, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have replaced at least a couple of those. 81-70. So we're 2-4. Craig had a good game, 19 points. Eschmeyer, but look at this O'Connor, 26 points. It might be that our bench play is really struggling right now. The depth is just not there really on the bench. Previous teams, I know I keep saying that, but one of the things that I am troubled by is there's no real backup center that can help Eschmeyer out, and that's going to, I think, hurt us. Teams are just out rebounding us a little bit, but it's the turnovers. How do you get those turnovers down? I think I need to slow the pace down. So looking at individually, Craig, Hall, the starters are looking good. It's just the bench is not doing it. They're really not doing it. That kind of sucks because we probably matched up pretty well against them. Now, the points or the minutes I think are okay, so I don't think it's a depth issue. Landrum didn't have that great of a game. Craig probably got into some more foul trouble, but that was his best game, I think, point-wise anyway. I want to look at it. NGIT from the Atlantic Sun. We might even be picked to lose to this team. No, it's finally one that we should win, but I know the strategy. Oh, why is it doing that? I am the head coach of Middle Tennessee. I don't need to change that. I don't think I'm fine with balanced. So unless I'm looking for a way to lower the pace without having to to manage the games. Um, no, I've got an average pace. Never mind. I thought I might have set it to. Um, I thought I may have set it to fast paced. Okay, let's see if we can get another couple games in here. I'm a little perplexed. I know we've got some big opponents here, but I would just like to, man, 5 wins. Give me 5 wins and I'm happy. I think that it evens out a little bit here and there in these last 5 games. No, I'm wrong. It doesn't, because we've got Wisconsin, and we've got Florida State, and we've got Connecticut. So it doesn't even out. 4-7 might be the best we can hope for. So now we're playing Wisconsin on the road. They're 3-2. I mean, maybe this could be an upset. Maybe this Wisconsin team is not as good as I'm thinking. Well, not to be. 72-52. Take a look at the box score from this one. Man, we had a poor shooting performance. Defensively, we weren't really that bad. We held them when it came to threes, but man, the fouls. I mean, Landrum almost had 5 fouls, and he's coming off the bench. So not discipline, not that great, and I think that's that shouldn't be a problem here. I don't think, but turnovers and I was even a little bit close here. Fouls and turnovers are really hurting us, but individually, Eschmeyer 11 points, not terrible. Tinsley looked good off the bench, shooting guard, and that's probably because Delzell got into foul trouble, and Hall not good again in scoring, but he did have 7 rebounds. So now let's go back to Simmons. So this will be one more game, and I'll finish out the non-conference schedule offline. I knew it was going to be tough. Next year, unless we really show something in the conference schedule, next year, you can just hammer me in the comments if I take it on a tough schedule like this again. Because we're going to be in the hole quite a bit when we start that conference schedule. Because one of the goals is to finish in the top half of the conference. You can win 9 games, I think, in this conference, finish 500, and you'll be in the top half. So that would satisfy that. But you can't really. Well, you definitely can't finish above 500 if you're betting on finishing at 9-9 in conference when you've started out the season 4-7 or 3-8. All right, so here should be getting to the next game here. I hope this is an easier one. So it's Texas Rio Grande, and I forget the NJIT, and we're at home. So this would be really bad if we lose this one. I think if we lose this one, we're in trouble. So we do win at 73-57. Eschmeyer, his name keeps popping up there. So if nothing else is positive, at least to me that's positive that he's the player I thought he was probably going to be for us. This game, 12 points, 8 rebounds. His rebounds are, they're not that great yet, but I mean, this guy's just a freshman. So I'm liking that. And then Hall, I kind of like the play I'm getting from him. His shooting percentage seems to be pretty good. What is he shooting? 36%. But he is scoring a little bit. Montgomery, not good. I think it might be time to mix Webb in there a little bit more. Montgomery, that's just, I just don't know what to do with those two. I mean, he's getting, double the minutes. Webb's averaging 10 minutes. And Montgomery's averaging 23 minutes. I don't know. I'm not ready to give up on him yet because the thing is, he does have 3.5 star potential, and individually, the way I'm looking at it, I think he has the better potential and current and potential when you look at them both together than I think Webb has. But bench play is not, it's not doing that great, although we did have a couple guys in double figures here. Robinson, a freshman center, he's not going to get a whole lot of play time. I hope he's happy with it. He's a disruptive force. Wow, that's not good. But I think that's probably where I'll end it. We got 3 more games left. I like ending on a win, so we're going to be 3-5. We got Florida State, Texas, Rio Grande, and Connecticut. And Connecticut is ranked, whereas when we did the schedule, they weren't. Although Florida State is now not ranked. So, hopefully that Texas Rio Grande, that's going to be on the road, but hopefully we can win that one, go into the conference 4-7, and just maybe have a good record in conference. But once again, I mean, I should learn my lesson, but once again, and we got an injury here, but it's not a big one, not to a big player, but I should learn my lesson on those schedules. I need to give my team some easier schedules here and there. It's not a bad thing. But as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking with me on this new series. I hated the hard drive crash the way that happened, but hopefully I'll have a little bit better luck with this one. And again, appreciate the likes and comments and things. I'll see you next episode when we'll start off the regular season and see if this team's the winner. Thanks for watching.